The sun beat down on the upscale suburb of Silverwood Heights, a community where manicured lawns met million-dollar homes and the scent of prosperity hung heavy in the air. Yet, this idyllic facade masked the persistent currents of prejudice that flowed beneath the surface, especially within the local law enforcement. Officer Grant Hollis, a veteran with a toxic worldview that divided citizens into protectors and suspects based almost exclusively on race, sneered into his radio. He'd spotted a dark-skinned man in an immaculate navy suit stepping out of a charcoal-gray luxury sedan at the quick-stop gas station on Willow Creek Avenue, directly across from the police precinct. Another criminal in stolen clothes, Hollis muttered to his partner, Officer Kyle Bates, who was already pulling up his backup. Hollis slammed his patrol car across the intersection, tires squealing, completely blocking the gas station's exit. He approached the man with aggressive intimidation. "Where'd you steal that fancy ride, boy?" The man, Elijah Vance, a picture of quiet confidence, slowly raised his hands. "Don't you dare touch me. That's assault on a police officer." Within seconds, the scene erupted. Hollis shoved Vance hard against the BMW, ignoring the constitutional violations occurring in plain sight. Bates illegally began searching Vance's car. "He's resisting," Bates yelled, a deliberate, baseless lie, even though Vance hadn't moved. In a desperate act of calculated deceit, Bates did the unthinkable. He clawed his own neck, drawing blood. "He attacked me." The fabrication was a cheap bid to justify their escalating brutality, a lie that multiple security cameras and stunned civilian witnesses were already recording. Elijah Vance, pinned face down on the hot asphalt with Hollis's knee crushing his neck, felt the familiar sting of injustice mixed with professional control. He was an expert in this scenario, but the officers had no idea they were assaulting a man who carried something that represented 20 years of service, absolute authority, and, crucially, their immediate future. The rising star, Elijah Vance, 42, was the newly appointed chief of police for the Silverwood Heights Police Department, SHPD. He'd been recruited personally by the mayor following a nationwide search aimed at reforming a department mired in decades of old-school, prejudiced policing. Vance's resume spoke volumes. A master's degree in criminal justice, 2 decades with a major metropolitan police force's major crimes division, and community outreach programs that had demonstrably reduced crime. He knew he was walking into a powder keg. The local press had been openly skeptical of his appointment, dominated by voices complaining about outsiders and political correctness. Vance's strategy was simple: lead by example, demand excellence, and let results silence the bigots. He had deliberately chosen the quick stop for his final stop before his 10 a.m. formal introduction. It was across from the precinct, a symbolic ground zero for the change he intended to implement. He was dressed impeccably, his Brooks Brothers suit and his late father's gold watch reflecting his professional success. In 30 minutes, he would walk through those gleaming doors and begin the seismic shift in the SHPD. Vance had spent his career overcoming the very prejudice he was now facing. He'd reviewed the personnel files of every officer. Hollis had 6 excessive force complaints. Bates had 3 racial profiling complaints and 2 quiet city settlements. Both were set to attend his introductory meeting. As he pumped premium gas, Vance sensed no immediate threat, but Hollis and Bates had spotted him immediately. In their jaded view, a successful black man in their affluent neighborhood was an anomaly requiring investigation. Wealth meant criminality. Confidence meant arrogance. The stage was perfectly set for their careers to implode with the force of a detonating bomb. The revelation, the brutal takedown, the fake resistance, the self-inflicted injuries, all of it played out before a gathering crowd. Witnesses, including a retired university professor, Dr. Reyes, and a construction worker filming on his phone, shouted their outrage. "He's going for something. He's resisting," Hollis yelled, wrenching Vance's arms behind his back. The suit jacket tore at the shoulder seam as Vance slammed face first onto the hot pavement. Hollis's knee dug into his neck with crushing force. Vance, despite the pain, spoke with terrifying composure. "Officer Thompson, Officer Williams, you are violating my Fourth Amendment rights, using excessive force, and conducting an illegal detention." This is being recorded by multiple witnesses. You are all accessories to civil rights violations under federal law. This legal precision only enraged Hollis more. But then, Bates made his move. He staggered backward dramatically, clutching the fresh, bleeding scratches on his own neck. He attacked me. He clawed my neck. The lie was instant. Dr. Reyes stepped forward. That's impossible. That man has been face down on the ground the entire time. You just scratched yourself. The security camera saw it. Panic flashed in Bates's eyes as he realized the consequences of his catastrophic, recorded deception. Meanwhile, Hollis roughly hauled Vance to his feet to officially arrest him. It was during this violent movement that the torn fabric of Vance's jacket shifted completely. Dr. Reyes gasped, pointing. "Officer Hollis, do you see what's on his belt?" Hollis's sneer vanished, replaced by pure, paralyzing horror. Partially concealed, but now gleaming unmistakably in the morning sun, was the official, 5-pointed gold star, the police chief badge of the Silverwood Heights Police Department. The entire scene fell into a vacuum of silence. Hollis's grip on Vance's arm dissolved. Bates froze, his hand still clutching his self-inflicted injury, the reality of his fate crashing down. Elijah Vance, his face bloodied but his dignity absolute, straightened his torn suit. His voice, steady and commanding, cut through the silence like a sword. "Officer Hollis, Officer Bates, I am Police Chief Elijah Vance, your new commanding officer. As of 8 a.m. this morning, I assumed command of this department." He held up his badge, letting the morning light reflect its authority. "Officer Hollis, explanations ended when you put your knee on my neck. Officer Bates, excuses ended when you clawed yourself and blamed me for your self-inflicted injuries." He didn't need to shout. His quiet intensity was more terrifying than any rage. "You have just committed assault, battery, false imprisonment, illegal search and seizure, and one of you attempted to frame your commanding officer with fake evidence. This occurred in front of 17 witnesses, recorded on 8 devices, including that security camera." Hollis sank to his knees on the hot asphalt, his tough cop facade crumbling into dust. "Please, Chief, we didn't know." Vance's cold stare cut him off. "Protecting the community from what, Officer Hollis? A black man buying gasoline? I was supposed to meet my team this morning. Instead, I've learned exactly which officers will be terminated immediately." The hunters had become the hunted. Justice, swift and undeniable, had arrived in the most unexpected way possible. The videos went viral within the hour. The federal investigation, led by the FBI Civil Rights Division, began before lunchtime. Vance, his first act as chief complete, was already implementing his strategy, one built on accountability, transparency, and the simple truth that competence transcends color. The careers of 4 officers were over, destroyed by the very prejudice they had so aggressively practiced. Elijah Vance had not only survived a brutal act of profiling, but had simultaneously documented the systemic corruption he was hired to eliminate.